What is a hub? It is a hardware physical component used to connect several computers together. When the connection has been established, transformation takes place, or the data will be transferred between the two computers. Routing table is going to maintain at each and every router of a network device. Gateway, it acts as an entry point or exit point for any of the network or any organization. Dear students, welcome to Computer Science classes. I am Ravi Kumar KR, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Students, let us start our discussion with the chapter Computer Networks. In this session, let us discuss about network devices, the devices which are used for computer networking and communication. Let us start with the device called hub. This is, you can look at the picture of that. So here, hub, what is a hub? It is a network device. So it is a hardware device used to connect several computers together. So what is a hub? It is a hardware physical component used to connect several computers together. It is used in star topology from workstation to central computer. So here, what is a hardware, and you know what is a hardware and what is a hub? It used to connect several computers together, and normally we are using this in star topology. So just to remember that what we have discussed in our previous session about star topology. So what is star topology? If you look at, suppose this is the hub, normally we say it has number of ports. So this is the number of ports, and all the computers are connected to different ports in a hub. See this, for example, see this is a port. These are the different computers. So computer 1, computer 2, computer 3 and computer 4. And here these are the ports, and these computers connected to different ports of the hub. So this is the definition of a hub. So it is used to normally in star topology. What is star topology? The definition says that, see, this is a central node, central device to which all the computers are connected. It forms a star topology. So generally hub is a device used to connect different computers to form a star topology. And here there are two types of hubs. One is active hub and passive hub. There are two types of hub. So what is active hub? The active hub amplifies the signal it gets. Means amplifies, means it improves the performance of the signal, or it improves the quality of the signal. That is the function of active hub. And the passive hub allows the signal to pass from one computer to another computer. So these are the difference between these two. Generally, any signal from one computer to another computer, this passive hub just pass the signal from one to another computer through this hub. But if you look at active hub, it's going to amplify, means it's going to strengthen the signal, or it improves the quality of the signal received from one computer to another computer. So this is one of the network device, that is hub. Normally we are using this in LAN network. Suppose if we have a local area network, that is LAN network, there we are using a hub to connect different computers in a computer network. Very good example for normally is your computer lab. In computer lab, or if it is a LAN network, all the computers are connected to one central device, that is hub. So this is one of the network device. In the next slide, we will see another device, that is a switch. You can look at the switch is a diagram here. So here, these are all nothing but different ports it comes with. So this switch is a device. It comes with different ports, maybe 4 ports switch, 8, 16 or 32 and so on. So here what is a switch? It is again a hardware device that is used to segment networks into different subnetworks called subnet or LAN segments. And here and segmenting the network into smaller subnets prevents traffic overloading in a network. So one of the device called a switch, and what is the function of this is going to, it is used to segment the network into subnetwork. Suppose if there is a one network, under that we can have subnetwork. So that can be done with the help of switch, that is a device here. What is LAN segment? LAN segment is, it's a within a LAN, and we can have another group of LAN or group of computers. That separation can be done with the help of switch. So it is used to segment the networks into different subnetworks. And here, a switch is responsible for transforming data in a specific way and for forwarding packets between LAN segments. Now, in the first sentence, we have learned it is used to separate the LAN segment. And what is the function of switch device? It is responsible for transforming data into a specific way and for between two different LAN segments. If there are more than one LAN segments in any organization or in any company, so communication can take place between two different LAN segments through this switch device. That is the responsibility or function of this device, communication between or transforming data between two LAN segments. Now, to insulate the transmission from the other ports, the switch establishes a temporary connection between the source and destination computer and then terminates the connection once the conversation is done. So another responsibility of this, and it is going to transfer the data to the specific destination. How it is possible? So it's going to create a logical connection between. So we can say that it's going to a logical temporary connection between the two computers. One is host computer and the destination computer. Then once the connection has been established, transformation takes place or the data will be transferred between the two computers. And once the data has been done or once the data communication has been done, transmission is completed, is going to terminate the connection. So switch is a device is used to transfer the data between two LAN segments by creating a separate insulate or by creating a logical path between host and destination. And once the transmission of data is completed, is going to terminate the connection. This is a network device switch. In the next slide, we will see another network device called repeater. You can look at the diagram or image of this. So what is a repeater? So repeater is a device that is used to increase the strength of the signal. It is used to increase the strength of the signal. Normally, we are using this in our bus topology. If you remember the bus topology, What is a bus topology? Bus topology we represent like this. Generally, this is the bus topology where all these are computer or we can say nodes. All these are nodes and here the communication takes place. The data signal is going to transmit over this cable, that is a backbone cable. So what is the function of repeater here? Once the signal has been sent from this starting point or from this computer through the network, so after the signal is transmitting for certain distance, the signal becomes weak or it becomes feeble. So then at that particular time, at particular distance, we are using a device called repeater. It is used to strengthen the signal or we can say to amplify the signal. So that is the function of repeater. It is a network device. Normally we are using this in bus topology because in bus topology, the signal start from one point and go to the destination till the signal transmits till the last point of the network. If the distance between one computer to another computer is beyond the limit of the cable or beyond its capacity, at that particular time, we may have to use a device called repeater. It used to amplify the signal so that the data or the signal can reach the destination. That is the network device repeater. In the next slide, we will see one more device is called a bridge. What is a bridge? So it is a device that connects two similar networks and it checks the destination address of the packets and decide whether to allow the packets or block. So what is a bridge? It is a network device and it is used in a network to transmit the data within a similar type of network. So if first of all, whenever the signal comes to this through one of the host computer, then it checks for the destination address. So if the destination address is within the same network or within the same segment, then the packet or the data is going to transmit to the destination. Otherwise, it's going to drop the packet or which is not allow the packets or is going to block the packets at this point itself. So this is one of the network device that is bridge. In the next slide, now one more device is routers. You can see the image of this picture of this device. So what is the router? Router is a device that connects two dissimilar networks. Now in the previous slide, we have seen a bridge is a device used to connect to similar networks. Now know the difference between these two. So bridge is a device used to connect to similar network, whereas the router is a device used to connect to dissimilar networks. It performs a traffic directing function on the internet based on routing table. So what is a router? It is a device. It performs traffic directing function on the internet based on routing table. So one of the function of router is traffic directing. So what is the meaning of that? So if there are more than one path between the host and destination, the router is a device is going to take out the best path between the host and destination. That is the meaning of traffic directing function, and how it is possible because of the routing table it is going to maintain within this device. So that is a function of traffic directing. Look at the example. For example, this is the host computer and this is the destination computer. So if you connect, in the network, if there are more than one path, for example, this is one more node here and this is one more node in a computer network. If this is the network, in this case, so this is another network or node is called A and B. Suppose the device or a computer H, they want to send a message to D or the destination computer. So it can take, now if you look at diagram, there are more than one path to reach the destination. In this example, either the signal or data packets move from H to D directly, or it can take alternative path. One is H, A, D, or one more is H, B, D. So in this example, there are three paths so that the packets or data can reach a destination. So what is the meaning of the traffic function of router? So out of these three, the router is a device is going to select the best path, or we can say the shortest path between the host and destination. It depends on many factors. Suppose if the traffic is to congestion, then it takes another path. So any problem with one of the paths here, then it can take another path. See, that is the meaning of traffic directing between host and the destination. That is another function of this router. Now it checks the destination address. If the address is unknown, it forwards the packet to the another router. So if there are more than one router in a network, so suppose the any signal and data comes to the router 1, then it checks for the address. Suppose if the address is not within that one particular network, then so the data or the packet is transmitted to another router in a network. Again, So in the router 2, in the network, it going to check for the address. If it is within the limit or within the network, so the data or the signal reaches the destination. So that is the for another function of this router. So that is why it is called as intelligent bridge. So this is about a router. So we can summarize what is a router. It is a hardware device used to connect two dissimilar networks, whereas the bridge connects two similar networks. And another function is the traffic directing, means it is going to decide or take up the best path between the host and destination if there are more than one alternative path. And that is why it is also called as intelligent bridge. This is a network device router. And here, and also note down the routing table. Routing table is going to maintain at each and every router of a network device. So based on the data or the table in the routing table is going to take up the best path between the host and the destination. In the next slide, we'll see gateway. What is a gateway? So gateway is a device that connects two dissimilar networks. So this is another device called gateway. It is a hardware and it is going to connect two dissimilar network, how we have seen in the routers. It performs protocol conversion data transmission, and actually it is a node on a network. So what is the meaning of gateway? A gateway is a hardware device and it can be implemented on one of the node in a network. And what is the function of gateway? As it is going to connect two dissimilar network. So suppose in any organization or in a company, so every network will be having its own gateway. What is the gateway? It is one of the node, as we have seen, is a node on a network. So any communication within the network or within the one organization or a company, so everything will be communicated very fast without any problem. But if at all, if there is a communication outside the company or outside the organization, then that particular data or the packet has to cross this gateway. It has to cross this gateway, and whether at the gateway is going to check whether the destination is computer or within the network or within the same network or within the same organization or not. If the network address or the destination address is not within the network, then the particular data or signal is going to transfer to another network of maybe a different company or different network through this gateway. So gateway, it acts as an entry point or exit point for any of the network or any organization. So any data which is coming from outside the network to a company, it has to pass through this gateway. And if any data or any message going out of the network or outside the company, then it has to go through this gateway. Is a hardware device. Say that is the function of gateway. It is a hardware device and it can be one of the node in a computer network. This is gateway. Next we move on to one more device that is called modem. That is modem. So what is a modem? The modem stands for modulation and demodulation. The modem stands for modulation and demodulation. So what is modulation? This modulation converts digital to analog signal, and demodulation is converts analog to digital signal. So what is the meaning of modulation? What is the meaning of conversion from these two? The data which are generated at a computer is digital data, and the data which has to pass through a different networking cables or different cables. So the cable is going to carry only analog signals, not digital data. In that way, once the data has been generated at one computer, that has to go through the modem. That is the modem. The modem first is going to modulate, or we can say that it converts the digital signal or data generated at that computer and converts it into analog signal. So once the conversion has to taken place, then the same analog signal is going to pass through different networking cables, and at the destination end also there will be a modem. So they should have a device called modem. So it's going to demodulate, or demodulation means because through the cables the data is transmitting in the form of analog signal. So at the destination computer they will be having the modem. That particular modem going to convert analog signal to digital signal, because the computer can read digital signal. So in that way the conversion takes place at the host end as well as at the destination end through a device called modem. That is the function of the modem, or modulation and demodulation. It is a device to convert digital signal to analog signal and analog signal to digital at the destination end. That is the function of modem, that is modulation and demodulation. Now here there are two types of modem. One is internal modem, and the modem that are fixed within the computer, and external modem, the modem that are connected externally to the computer as another peripherals are connected. So there are two types of modem. If you observe this, one type of modem is called internal modem. It will be fixed inside the CPU of your computer, so that directly you are connecting Ethernet cable to the NIC card. So that is the internal modem. So what is external modem? It is also a modem which we can connect outside the CPU. So we are going to connect the modem to the CPU. How we are connecting? Other computer peripherals or other computer devices. So there are two types of modems, internal as well as external modem. Now the next device is called Ethernet card. It is one of the main component of networking here. So Ethernet card. What is Ethernet card? Now you can see the image of this picture of Ethernet card. Now say this is what you can see, the port here. This is where we are connecting our networking cable. That is why it is called as Ethernet card. So Ethernet is a LAN architecture. It uses bus or star topologies and can support data transmit at the rate of 10 Mbps. So this is the function of Ethernet card. So it's going to just pass the information, or is going to transmit the data transfer with 10 Mbps. Now the computers that are part of Ethernet have to install a special card called Ethernet card connected through RJ45 connector. So this is the card. This has to be installed inside the computer or in the CPU, so that a computer can be connected to the computer network. And the connector we call it as RJ45 connector. So this is the interface, this is a place, or we say it is the port or a connector. So RJ45 connector is used to connect computer cables to a computer network. This is another device called Ethernet card. Students, so far we have discussed about different networking devices, or the devices which we are using in computer network. So let us continue our discussion in my next session. Thank you very much.